Hey, my lovers, Rich Rising. So I'm here to get you guys a ancestor message. And if this is your first time here, let me tell you who I is. I am Regal Essence. I am Queen TV. I am Queen TV After Dark. I am Life as a Love Goddess. I am Life as a Laid Back Mom. I'm your crystal healer and dealer. I'm your past life princess, and I'm the life ABA therapist and pre-K teacher. Hey, boo, hey. So listen, I am here to get you guys a nice oh my God, we love it. So I'm here to get you guys a ancestor message to start off your week, okay? And if this is your first time here, I also want you to check out the link in my bio. The link in my bio is where Crowned Again. Ooh, let's get into it. The link in my bio is where Crowned Again, a goddess's return from narcissistic abuse, lives. And it's a very healing transmission that I wrote for my 50th birthday. So, if you are someone that has been through some of the worst things in life and now you are resting, you're getting back to yourself, back to your softness, back to your calm, back to a regulated nervous system, okay? That book will resonate with you. So, check it out at the link in the bio. So, let's get into it. So, we got Aunt Nancy, right? And she talks about betrayal, right? And she talks about self-betrayal. Self-betrayal is when we don't show up for ourselves, okay? So let's get into her, and then we're going to get into Medusa. She makes me think of somebody, famous, but I ain't going to say no names. So let's get into Aunt Nancy. So most times when we think of, and she is number 20. So she is from the Temple of the Shadows. And most times when we think of betrayal, we think of somebody did something to me, etc., etc. But oftentimes we betray ourselves, okay? And I think we do that when we go through situations and we don't fully show up for ourselves in that situation. We may be angry, upset, still holding on to levels of frustration, unhealed hurt, right? And then we continue to carry that on into other situations, right? We really betrayed ourselves by not showing up for ourselves, not holding people accountable, right? Those things. So let's get into Aunt Nancy. So Anansi, or the Akan trickster god, and sacred clown, snuck into our global folk tales, while Geechee children heard tales of Aunt Nancy, the tricky spider woman. Guyanese parents entertained their children with Nancy stories about a witty, tiny spider, okay? So when she shows up, this is the guidance that she has for us. Who really betrayed you? Betrayals from others mirrors you betraying yourself, okay? So the embodiment that she wants us to embrace whenever she shows up in the deck is betrayal is a web that disrupts everything you thought you knew, right? So we want to hold space for that. We want to hold space for those that betrayed us, right? And we want to hold space for the fact that betrayal is a deep hurt, right? It's not something that we could just skip over, right? So it disrupts everything that you thought you knew. Use discernment in your relationships as well. Betrayal makes it difficult to trust other people. But without trust, your relationships are a lie. Trust that no matter what happens and no matter how long it takes you, you will survive and thrive. The real question is, how have you betrayed or abandoned yourself, right? So, the way that we betray and abandon ourselves in this sense is to not follow our intuition. Sometimes we know that people ain't shit. They show us who they are and we want to believe something else, right? So we betray ourselves by not trusting our own intuition, okay? So we want to make sure that we're not afraid to show up for people in relationships, but we're going to trust ourselves enough to know whenever I see something that's not right, I am going to hold space for that. Now, that doesn't mean as soon as somebody do something wrong, we cut them off, we ghosting them, all of that. It doesn't always require that, but if it does, do what you need to do. Sometimes you may just need to sit back, make some observations, and then move forward from there, okay? Because all situations, like, we can't ghost all situations. Sometimes we got to stay in the situation knowing what it is that we know, okay? So we want to make sure that we're not betraying ourselves, okay? Or lying to ourselves. We can look at it like that. We're not lying to ourselves about what it is that we see, okay? So let's get to the affirmation. So our affirmation today is, I am willing to know the truth. Wow. Yeah. So I'm willing to know the truth. I can look at the truth. I can take the truth. I can handle the truth. But that doesn't mean that I have to stay around to, that doesn't mean I gotta stay around after I know things have changed. So yeah, you guys, so that's all I got for you guys. I want y'all to write that affirmation down. I am willing to know the truth. I want you to write the affirmation down. I want you to say it to yourselves, okay? And we are not betraying ourselves, because we're going to trust our intuition, okay? We're going to believe people the first time. We're going to believe their actions. We're going to trust our gut. We're going to move forward, right? We're going to always show up for ourselves. So that's all I got for y'all. Listen, if this video resonated with you, do me a favor, drop me a heart below. Save this video for when you need a little pick me up. Share this video with your friends. And remember, I love you.